So I'm going to talk a little bit more about being a psychic medium. In the last video I did, I was talking about what it was like to be a psychic medium and the difference between a psychic and the difference between a medium and being a psychic medium, right? And doing this work professionally, I mean, obviously I was wide open from the get-go, right? I was seeing spirit as a little girl, communicating with them. But I haven't talked much about the gifts that open up along with this, that are mind-blowing, that are epic, right? So the very first time that I trans-channeled, I call it trans-channeled, trans-mediumship, I guess, was in a professional setting. I was working on a client, probably professionally for the second time. And she had asked me who her father was. And, she said, I don't know who my father is. My experience was growing up Jehovah, and I never got the answers that I asked, right? And she said, so of course I start channeling, and I'm like, well, I get this, we'll say the letter R. And she's like, well, both possibilities of my father are the letter R, right? And I said, oh, okay, well, that makes it hard. And so then I'm saying, well, they have brown hair. Well, they both had brown hair. This one was in the military. They're both in the military. So I had to keep going down this like rabbit hole, right? To find out who her real father was. I mean, it would have been easier just to take a DNA test, right? But I'm teasing. Anyway, at that point in time, now this was 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. So all of a sudden I immersed myself like I was this person. And I was running through the jungles of, this was the Vietnam War. I could taste the blood, the sweat. I could hear the bombs going off. I mean, I literally, and I kid you not, I literally opened my eyes and looked up at the ceiling and realized I'm actually in a room. But I hear a helicopter over my head. And she noticed that I was doing that. And she said, is everything okay? And I said, don't you hear that helicopter? And she's like, no. Well, let me tell you, I was freaking myself out, right? So I closed my eyes and I was right back in the jungle, and it was doing all the things. And I finally said to her, I said, whoever this man is that had the same initials, the same color hair, the same, we went through all these things, I said, he is getting pinned a Purple Heart. He is standing, like at Arlington, it was all the things, like it was a big deal. And she goes, okay, now I know who my father is, because they were both in the military, the same branch, the same this, the same that, same letter, first name, all these things. But this one was the only one that got a Purple Heart. So that was really cool. So there are things that I have humbled me beyond belief, because I didn't know that I had the capability of doing these things. And the reason that I'm sharing this with all of you is you need to understand that when you start opening these gifts, there's no limit. When you take that, you're not bound to a building or a book, and you open the roof to this gift, sky's the limit. And it will take you places that you never thought possible. And that's why it's so important for you to have a coach or a mentor or someone that can help guide you through this journey. Because let me tell you, it can be really freaking scary, and it can be really freaking cool. And for me, because I embrace this and I know I'm channeling from certain places, and I'm protected, and I know how to get myself out of these positions or to go with the flow, it's been an incredible experience. One that I am completely honored, grateful, and humbled beyond belief. And remember, I am just the vessel. You are just the vessel. But you also need to know how to get yourself out of situations, how to protect yourself, because this is a big deal. And I don't want people walking into this blindly like I did. I mean, I had to learn the hard way, and it wasn't so much fun that way. But because I've embraced it and I understand where my roots are and who's protecting me and how to protect myself and how to clear myself when things aren't going the way that I want them to. Some mediums that I know don't like doing mediumship or don't want to do it because they don't want to let this loved one or spirit completely to overtake their vessel. And it can be a very scary thing, but it can also be a really phenomenal thing. But you need to know what you're doing. So I hope you guys find this helpful.